Ryan Hayes here, Craig Matt Wrestling Media. I'm here with Jamie Pickett. As you guys know, Jamie Pickett is a UFC welterweight fighter from Wilmington, North Carolina. He'll be fighting, everybody knows, Bo Nickal on December 10th. So, yeah, Jamie, man, first of all, thanks for joining me, man. How's everything been going?
Going good, man. Going very well.
So kind of talk to me a little bit about your MMA career, really kind of as a whole, before we get to the whole Bo Nickal thing. I know you started in 2008. Bo Nickal would have been 12 years old. So just talk to me a little bit, first of all, about the grind and kind of, catch me up to date.
I'm old, man. I'm old. 34 years old. I've been fighting for a long time, man. I've been doing this for a minute. I had a lot of bruises, a lot of things. A lot of people, what people don't know is a lot of these fights, fighters be hurt or got injuries and stuff and take them anyways. This is how we provide for our family. This is how we do it. So most of the fights I've had, I've been hurt. I do it. I've been fighting since 2008. Long grind to get to the UFC. I had a prize, had a goal in mind, and I reached it. I did all the work to do it. I got there. I'm in the UFC, and it's hard. It's very hard. Everybody's good, so it's different, but I'm here.
I actually kind of started right around that time, 2008 too. When I was getting into it, I was kind of, I think we were all doing those little fights up in like Virginia, like that. I think there wasn't even sanction. I mean, you just showed up and you fought. There was like no blood work, no commission. I did that a bunch of times, and I mean, as I think about it right now, I'm like, that was just so dumb. But I mean, if you really think about it, like as far as North Carolina, because I'd say I fought on the very, very, very first legalized show in North Carolina, and actually it was in Greenville, North Carolina. Though mayhem in a cage type stuff. Well, good Lord. Yeah, and I just kind of remember like going through the whole grind of like just not knowing, showing up and you're fighting and not knowing that you could get travel, or that they needed to put you up in hotel rooms. They just kind of nickel and dimed you, and you just showed up and fight, man. Like, so they kind of paid. I felt like it kind of paved the way for like all the other fighters in North Carolina as you start to learn, how all this works. How was it for you in a sense?
I had one time where I fought twice in a night. I was no sanctioned. There was just not sanctioned by the Boston Commission or the Athletic Commission. Just like you said, show up, you sign a fight, you fight whoever. I fought at different weight classes. If you look at my career, I fought at all kinds of weight classes. 170 and up. I fought heavyweight.
Yeah,
That's what I think is funny. I don't even know who the hell Bo Nickal is. I just started figuring out who he is, and I really don't. I can give two shits who he is. Seems like a nice guy. I don't know him. Seems like he's pretty cool. He's driven. He has said something on his mind, and he wants to get after it. That's how he should be. I don't know anything about him. Not disrespectfully, but I just don't know anything about him except for he's Division I All-American wrestler. I found that out like 2 days ago. So I don't read this stuff. I'm usually hunting or riding four-wheelers. I don't know what the hell, or at the gym training. I don't know what they're talking about. So, everybody's talking about, he's going to do this, he's going to do that. Back out now. I see this stuff, y'all, right? Back out now and all this stuff. I'm thinking to myself, brother, I've been fighting on the street before I was in the UFC. I've been stabbed twice, hit in the head with a hammer. I've been fighting since I could walk. Win, lose, or draw, if you step in my face, you're gonna get what you come for. That's the same attitude I got in the UFC. You want to fight? Let's fight. I don't know. They called me, asked me if I could take this fight. I said okay. Like, I don't know. I
Right.
don't know what, you know. I guess he has a lot of hype behind him. That's what I'm figuring out now. That's cool. I mean, he's a Division I wrestler. He should have hype behind him, and I hope he does well. But I don't. My plan is to stop it.
Right. So basically, what Bo Nickal is, he's like a 3-time national champion, like a U23 world champion. He brings in the UFC a wrestling pedigree that's unlike no other. And because he's he's already got a name behind him, it's kind of like the UFC is kind of catapulting him to have what you call like that Conor McGregor type of startup. And I read the same things. I mean, like to be honest, most people think that this is the way to build him up, and this is the way for like the UFC to get rid of you because you kind of been like on a two fight slide. What do you think about that?
Well, what people don't know, they just talk and run their mouths. I mean, my last 2 fights, not this fight, but the last 2 fights before that, they were all short notice. The last one, when I fought, what's that boy name? Cal Dawkins. That fight didn't go against me. They told me it wasn't going to go against me. They just needed somebody to fight him. I was 225 eating ice cream and beer when they called me. I just fought 2 fights in a row. They called me and asked me to fight. And like I've always been, people can say what they want to say about me, but a coward I am not.
For sure. Well,
and taking the fight, they say, "Oh, why you taking the fight? It's not smart." Bitch, I need the money. I needed the money at the time. The UFC, when you first get in the UFC, you're not getting huge checks. You gotta fight. Dana White tells you that. You want to make big money, you gotta fight. So they offered me the Cal Dawkins. I said, okay. They told me it wasn't going to count against me. Okay. I took the fight. 10 days notice? Before that, it was already a short notice. And then they changed opponents on me 4 days for the 3.5 weeks before the fight. And I fought the black dude, Joseph Holmes. So I've been Star Poli. I fought Star Poli. That was a match fight. Me and him had a match date. I prepared for him. I beat him. I'm chilling in Texas. They called me. We need you to fight this Bohia guy. I can't remember his name. He's a Brazilian guy. Really nice. Just met him. Gonna fight him. I said, okay, I'll fight him. Start training for him. They said he got sick or something. He pulled out. They put in Joseph Holmes. I don't know who the hell Joseph Holmes is either. I didn't say, and I was hurt. I didn't back out of shit. I fought him. I beat him. I'm thinking I'm on vacation. Everybody, if you look at my press conference, I said, I'm taking a vacation. I'm going with my daughter. I said, I'm spending time with my child. I don't get to see my child. My child's in Miami. Talking shit, I don't care. I was like, okay, I'm going to go spend time. I went hanging out with my daughter. I'm eating pizza, doing what I want. For it was like 2 weeks. Do what I want. Drinking beer. We need you to fight Cal Dawkins. It's in 10 days. What? I ain't gonna make 185. We gotta be at 190. I can't make 185. And I kill myself to make 190. People don't understand. I walk around at 230, 225, 230. Ask any of my teammates. I walk around huge. I'm big. So for me to make that weight, 190, it damn near, I mean, throwing up after, it was bad. But I made 190 and I fought Cal Dawkins. Look at my body. I was pudgy. I wasn't in shape when I fought Cal Dawkins. Not taking anything away from him. He's a cool guy. I fought him. Then we get we're supposed to be fighting the judo guy, the black guy, judo guy. I was hurt for that fight. The UFC was sending me to the doctor and everything. I was hurt for that fight. I took it anyways. Then he pulls out. I get the Russian kid. Then I start training for him. I get in shape. He pulls out. They reschedule the fight. Then I fought where you just saw me fight at. So I went through a crazy training camp for 4 months. Ask anybody. I was hurting everywhere. but I still fought. I'm sure he was too, but he still fought. A fight's a fight, man. Who gives it? I don't give a damn if he's a kickboxing all champion of the world. I mean, we're gonna fight each other. I mean, either he's gonna beat me, I'm gonna beat him. But I can bet your ass this, I'll be in there, and I'm gonna try everything I got. I'm not like these other guys. You can talk what you want to say about me, but at the same time, these people you like pull out all the time. I don't.
Well, I guess the question is what out of all the fighters on the in the kind of the welterweight this contract with UFC, why did they offer this to you? It's like it's just crazy. Like there's a lot of other fighters they could have picked. It's like they just offered this one to you, like, or was it something that your manager kind of rallied for? Like how did you understand that you got the fight?
No. This is how it really happened. For people who think they know what they're talking about, this is what really happened. I'm not on my way out. UFC was about to cut me at all. They talking about giving me another contract. First off, they asked a lot of fighters to fight Bo Nickal, and I ain't gonna say nobody's name, but they asked a few fighters to fight Bo Nickal, and they all said no. That's the truth. From what I've been told, they asked fighters, they said no. They didn't want to fight somebody who's gonna wrestle him down to the ground, hold him down, or submit him, whatever he does. They said no. I was like, no at first. I was like, nah, I just fought. I don't feel like fight right now. That was my thing. I just fought. I don't feel like fight right now. And wasn't because I was scared of him. I didn't know who the hell it was. I just didn't feel like going through the motion of training right now. Because my daughter, I just won custody. I got joint custody of my daughter now. So I'm going to go see her in Miami next weekend. And then she's coming here in November, and then she'll be with me in spring, summer, and all that stuff. So I'm trying to get to know my kids. So I was like, I'm not trying to be in the middle of training camp, trying to get to know my 4-year-old daughter more and all that stuff. So I was like, nah. Then they told me they're going to give me more money. When I heard that, I was like, shit, that much? All right, I'll fight him. That's how it was. That's all it happened. Everybody trying to act like this. Oh, he was going out, so they forced him to fight. No, nobody forced me to do nothing. They told me how much money. I was like, shoot, my daughter, her birthday coming up. I just got a new house. I got a bunch of stuff I need to be, instead of being in the hole, you get a loan or whatever for any personal or housing loan, you got to pay this stuff off. So I was like, shoot, if I am, I can be to the good. So I was like, if I beat him, I really be to the good. So yeah, fight him. And nothing to do with nobody getting cut or nothing.
Right. Yeah, for sure. So you are down in Wilmington, North Carolina, right? Is that where you're at?
Yes.
Is that where okay. So I mean, being the fact that he is a wrestler, are you kind of taking advantage of like the knowledge of like Austin Trotman, Derek Bronson, and John Salter? Those are some guys that can kind of get you good with the as best as they can, kind of in the on the wrestling end of things. Like how often do you train with those guys? I know you train with John a lot, but where are you at with Bronson and Trotman?
Derek Brunson and I we talk every now and then, but Derek has a lot of stuff going on, a lot of business stuff going on. So I haven't really don't see him too much right here, and he doesn't train here. He has a gym here. He trains here sometimes. Actually, I can't say he doesn't train here. I don't know what he does, but from what I know, he trains in Florida. He has a gym here. He comes trains every now and then. And Troutman, I've never even met Troutman. I don't know who that is. I've heard of him, but I don't know him. Apparently, he's an awesome wrestler. I probably should get with him. I have Derek and I have a few other wrestlers. I plan on going to go train with Buckley. And I have some other people. I don't want to tell my secrets. That's some other things I'll be doing. But
so yeah, well, so Austin Trotman is actually he was a cat that placed third NCAA Division I, wrestled at a school called Appalachia State in Boone, North Carolina. So he kind of settled there probably about maybe 4 or 5 years ago. And he's kind of been fighting MMA. So what I'll do is I'll actually just shoot you. I'll shoot you his number. You get up with him, but he's a good guy. I think, with Bo, I think Bo Nickal, he talks about how his hands are good, right? I think in a straight up boxing match, I think you're probably better than him. But I think when a wrestler has good hands, it's because the fact that people fear the wrestling, which opens up the hands.
Right.
Where you at as far as like how you think that if you were to beat Bo Nickal, how do you think you would be able to beat Bo Nickal?
On the ground.
How's your jiu-jitsu?
Really good. People and people don't know that because I haven't really had the shit. I don't really takes me down like that. And I don't really try to take people down. I just try to make them think about the takedown. I'm good on the ground. Just don't really care about going. I want to stay on my feet. But if we go down there, I can use it. But I'm usually trying to get back up to my feet. But I mean, I'm all around. I'm good everywhere. I'm not focusing on one thing. I don't think Bo Nickal focuses on one thing either. I think the guy does everything. I think he's extremely talented. He's in the position he's in. And I don't think the UFC is pushing him to do anything. I don't think the UFC is pushing him in at all. The UFC doesn't really talk about him. I think that he is getting famous on his own back. I don't think he has much help. I think him doing all his accolades has pushed him to be who he is. The UFC hasn't done anything to make him big. When he got to Contender, he was big. The UFC didn't push him. He came in like Conor and them. He already had a fan base already. And as I've been looking him up, I don't see UFC really saying much about him before then and now. They ain't really said too much about him until the Contender series. And he already had a fan base before he got there. So the man, let's not take stuff from him and say the UFC did anything. I say that he did it on his own. And with the UFC as a bigger platform, he will push himself with the UFC's help way further than what he's at. But I think he did all that mostly on his own because he works so hard as a wrestler. So, and he talks the shit he needs to talk. He's calling out Chamaya or Cum Shot, whatever you want to call him. And
just call that boy Cum Shot.
They call him Cum Shot. They call him Cum Shot. I think it's hilarious. If I was him, I would go with it. But he's calling out people. He never called my name out. I mean, he called out other people who matters to him, I guess. And he's doing the right things. But now he has to fight me, and I have to fight him, and whatever happens, shit. But I can promise this. I can promise this. He'll be in a fight. I can tell you that.
For sure. And I guess one of the reasons why Bo Nickal didn't call you, that's probably because just like you and him, he's probably like never heard of you and probably don't think that that's a fight that's gonna get his UFC career started the way he wants to get started. That's probably my thought on it. Now, have you heard whether or not that whether it's going to be on the main card or the prelim? Bo Nickal said a couple times that if he couldn't get on the main card, that he would retire, which I believe he's just kind of blowing smoke. But do you know where this fight is going to be at on December 10th?
I don't know nothing. When I say nothing, I'm glad you said it like that. When I say I don't know him, I'm not saying it as this. I really don't know the motherfucker. I don't know him. I don't know. I've never heard of him until the Contender series. And that's not just him. That's every fighter in the UFC. I didn't know who the hell they were until they got in the UFC. I'm not like this UFC, MMA hobby head guy who like searches people and look for them and this guy's doing this, he's gonna be doing that. Brother, if you ain't talking about a dirt bike or a 4-wheeler or hunting, I don't know nothing about what's going on in MMA. I train, I fight. Most times I don't even watch it. So I don't even know. Buckley, all these guys, ain't no more. until they did something that caught my attention, or I started hearing other people talk about it. I'm like, oh, okay. No offense to him by saying that, because I see a lot of people say, oh, I never heard of him because they already been in UFC first. That's not what I'm doing. I just never heard of him until Contender Series. And even Contender Series, I didn't really know his name. I just saw him. I glanced at it and saw him win. I was like, oh, somebody won in the middleweight division. They even bring him back type thing. And then they tell me his name, who I was fighting. I still didn't know. And then I start seeing it pop up. My phone starts showing all these things about Bo Nickal. And I was like, what the hell? Who is this? That's who I'm fighting? like that's what it was. Like, oh shoot, he's good. So yeah. And as far as what you were talking about lastly, I don't know where the fight's gonna be. I never ask every fight. I don't know where it's gonna be at. I see my flight, and I say, oh, we're in Vegas again. So I assume it's gonna be Vegas every time, and I don't know. I don't think none of us know where we're fighting at until we get there. Then it has like a list on the door and it shows like where your lineup is, because the internet is always wrong. If you haven't noticed, it's mostly wrong. They'll have like they had me as a co-main event my last fight forever. And you get there, I'm like the middle fight of the prelim. So I mean, I don't. Bo's concerned about that. I guess I don't know. I don't care. I'm just concerned about being in shape, making weight, and putting on a good show for the fans. His fans, my fans, whatever. Put on a good show and trying to win the fight. That's what I'm focused on. I don't know who fights win. Doesn't matter. Just make sure my check is there at the end of it.
So talk to me about that Contender grind. I think it took you 3 times on the Contender to get to the UFC. At any point did you get discouraged after you kind of didn't perform, or Dana White thought you didn't perform the way you should have to actually get in the UFC the first couple times?
Yes. The first time on Contender, people not really knowing shit. When I got to Contender the first time, I took that on a 2 or 3 days notice. I didn't know anything about fighting on the Contender. I was just, they called and say, hey, our manager at the time called, hey, they got a spot opened up on the Contender. Can you make weight? And luckily, I was getting ready for another fight, and I was like 205. I was about to start to get ready for the fight. I was like 205, which is very rare for me to walk around 205. I was like, I'm 205. I can make the weight. And I start cutting then. And I fought, and I had I went with no coaches. I had no coaches. I went by myself. I had a friend of mine to come from another gym and corner me. It was short notice. My coaches got kids. They couldn't come. So I went, and I fought. I lost. Then the second time, I was prepared to fight Puna. I was ready to go. I pulled my hamstring, and I showed my medical records on internet after the fight with Puna. I had torn a hamstring in 2 places before I fought Puna. And Puna was a very, very hard fight. And I lost. No excuses, but I lost. I'm just telling you how it went down with me. So I was thinking, man, I just got the worst luck. I just can't. My body's just not, holding up. UFC they're not gonna call me again. I'm gonna drop the ball twice. But what people don't know is the UFC actually likes me. They want to fight again. I did it, and I won. So this, it's discouraged is definitely a word I use. I was definitely discouraged. I was just like, a lot of people don't understand because they have never worked hard for something. I worked hard to be in the UFC, very hard to be in the UFC, and I felt that I would never make it because of those 2 fights. So I got the 3rd shot. In the first round, I was setting him up from the first round to the last minute. I was setting him up the entire time. I knew what I was going to do. He keeps stepping in. I'm going to keep acting like I don't want to engage. I'm going to keep acting like I don't want to engage. And once he steps in too close, I'm going to blitz him with everything I got, and I'm going to finish it. That's what I was doing the whole time. Just baiting it up. And then I got to finish, and UFC said I did enough. They signed me, and then here we go.
So, if anybody, like I know I could witness to like the hard work you put in, just kind of seeing you back Fight Lab days, kind of working way back up. The Contender itself, like how did the first shot come to be? Like, did somebody rally to get that for you, or like how did they get in touch with you when you got that call for the Contender the first time?
Well, I just tell you, my manager told me.
Okay.
Manager at the time called and told me somebody dropped out.
Okay, so you're up under, because I think one of the last times I ever talked to you, I think you were kind of doing things by yourself. And
I was doing things by myself for a long time.
Yeah, and you finally got with him. Who is your manager, and like, does he have any other like UFC clients?
Lamont Chappell. Okay. Lamont Chappell. Lamont Chappell is my manager. He has Hannah Cyphers. He has Miranda Maverick. He has Damon Blackshear.
Okay.
And he has some other guys that just got into the UFC off the Contender Series. I can't remember their names.
I think I'm kind of losing you a little bit. I can't hear you. I don't know where your reception is. I just lost you.
Yeah, hold on.
Yeah, I got you now. Can you repeat the last, like those last 20 seconds?
Miranda Maverick, Damon Blackshear, Hannah Cyphers, and a few other guys who just got his tenders is under Lamont Chappell. And I don't know the few guys, the new guys, but I know Miranda and Damon and Cyphers, because we all was start, like I knew, I've already trained with them, I already knew them.
Right. So, and then talk a little bit about like how your training's been going. Who are some of the people that you do train with, like, and where do you train at? I'm assuming Port City, but do you go anywhere else?
I do. I train in Goldsboro with Carlos Martin. I train in Rose Hill with David Mejia, who's my coach. And I have other places, but I want to keep those closed until after the fight. We have this talk again, and then I'll tell you.
I understand. So when you go into this fight, so it's safe to say this is probably going to be the biggest fight for you because of who you're fighting. Where are you at mentally when you go into these fights, especially a fight where all eyes are going to really be on Bo Nickal? I mean, that's just what it is. Where are you at with this?
I don't know. I don't really care. It's kind of like seize the moment, go out there, beat him, and take all his friends from him. That's what anybody want to do, right? Like, my mind is not on my mind is on winning the fight, and proving a point. And his mind's on the same thing. Our minds are on the same thing. He wants to be great. I want to be great. And
yeah.
I don't know what he's doing. He doesn't know what I'm doing, but we'll find out what we've been working on when we get there. But we have the same mindset. I feel like he wants to do good. I want to do good. He wants to win. I want to win. It's all about who wants to win the most. Because I'm going to have to fight him, and he's going to have to fight me. It's going to be a tough fight for both of us. People think I don't know people think he's going to run through me. Maybe he does. I don't know. But I just don't see it happen. But maybe he does. We'll see.
Hey, and then you mentioned a lot. Talk a little bit about the redneck country stuff that you do. You talk about fishing and four wheelers. Tell me a little bit about that and how you kind of got started, because that surprised me. You don't seem like that kind of that kind of person, man.
Wow, I absolutely hate fishing, and I don't fish, but I do hunt. I hunt deer. I duck hunt. I ride dirt bikes. I ride ATVs, sports ATVs. I jump dirt bikes. I jump four wheelers. I do mudding, bogging. I go trail riding on ATVs and horses. I've been riding horses since I was 8. I've been farming tobacco and corn and peanuts since I was a child. I'm country as hell, man. People don't know. People don't know that, but I'm very country.
You hung out with the white kids in high school, man. The country kids.
I hung out. I was that kid who hung out with everybody. I love everybody, man. I hung out with every race, every ethnic group, every weird person in the school and cool person in the school. Everybody knew who I was because I talked crap to everybody. I was the clown all the time. I talked shit to everybody, and was the smallest, and loved to fight. Didn't matter who it was, and didn't matter win, lose, or draw. I was going to fight you, and I was going to try to win. And riding dirt bikes, if you got in front of me, I would damn near kill myself to get in front. I'm always going to be a competitor in everything I do. I'm like very, very competitive in everything. Dirt bikes, foals, horses, riding bulls. Everything I do, I'm always trying to be the fastest time of everybody. So it's in my blood, man. I'm wild as shit, and I'll always be that way.
Real quick before I let you go, you know how you have one of those trainers, one of those practices, right? You just can't, you can't get to the shower in time. I want to tell you a little bit about Nutrizone Clean Body Wipes, all right? So there's this new product out. Heck, they might even sponsor you. It's the logo right here on the screen. If you don't have time to shower after your workout, man, you can kind of wipe yourself off, and that'll really, really hold you afloat till you catch a shower. So, you know what? Check them out. Nutrizone Clean Body Wipes, man.
I will. I surely will. Big shout out to some of these sponsors. Super ATV, Assassinator tires, the best tires for your quad, ATV, side by side. That's the only thing I've run on my tires. I'm rolling on 30s right now, Assassinators. Fucking hammer down all day long in those things, man. And I love all the stuff that I do. Of course, you see me wearing Crocs. I should be sponsored by Crocs because that's all I wear. So Crocs, shout out. I need it, and Can-Am. I need a sponsorship, or Yamaha because I ride both. My motorcycle, everything I have is Yamaha except for my Outlander 850. That's a XMR 850 Can-Am. They should sponsor me as well.
Yeah, bro. Now that I think about it, you should probably try to hang out with freaking Cowboy Cerrone. Y'all would get along just fine.
Dude, I've already hung out with him.
I know that. How did that go?
We had fucking fun. And I stayed at his ranch one night. It was crazy. And I trained with him back in the day. And he talked shit to me. He called me Kobe all the time. He said I look like Kobe. He's called me Kobe. And I remember when I was young, I was 170 pounder at that time. We rolled, and he submitted me like 20 times. And he was like, "You're pretty good, Kobe." And I was like, "I don't fucking feel like I'm good now." I was probably a blue belt back then. I was there. It was 2009 when I hung out with Donald Cerrone. And every time I see him, I say hey to him. I don't think he remembers me. Probably doesn't, but he was a really nice guy. And
damn. Yeah. 09, bro. You old, bro.
Bro, hold on for a second.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, I'm old, man. I was supposed to be fighting one of your boys at one time, wasn't it? What's his name?
Probably Steve Montgomery. Hey, your camera, you might want to reactivate your camera because I can't see you on the screen here.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
Or you can just re-click. There we go. Yeah.
Yes, Steve Montgomery. Yeah, I was supposed to fight him at one point. He's another guy I thought could make it.
Yeah, actually, he actually has he's running the ATT Asheville, North Carolina gym. So he started kind of running that about maybe 3 years ago. So he's actually in North Carolina, except like you're all the way there, and he's like all the way here.
That's like a 6-hour drive too. We don't know how far North Carolina stretches, man. Jesus.
Yeah.
I'm going to Asheville soon, man. I'm sponsored by Fintrail too. I'll wear nothing but Fintrail. Get you some Fintrail gear if you're gonna ride in the mud, baby. It's the best waterproof gear you can get. Fintrail. So, I might hit them up. I go to Asheville a lot to go ride. So,
For sure, man. Well, hey, man, I know you got other stuff you got to do, especially preparation for this fight, like December 10th will be here before you know it. Thanks for your time. Good luck, and go out there and do your best you can to get the W back to North Carolina.
I'm gonna do my damnedest. I can tell you that, and I definitely see myself winning for sure. Thanks, guys. Thanks again, man. Appreciate it, Mr. Hayes. I'll hit you up after the fight.
Thank you.
Peace. How do you click this off?
I just end broadcast. All right, guys. That was Jamie Pickett. He's actually a guy I've known for like a long, long time. So, it's great to see his progression in MMA. I'm his first interview ahead of the fight. He's promised me that he would let me get the interview. So, anyways, this has been another podcast, Crank Matt Wrestling Media. Everybody have a good time. Stay safe. And go do what you do, but do it real good.